Hey everybody, Cinema Buffs here, bringing you our review of Fist Fight. Now, Fist Fight is the new comedy starring Ice Cube and Charlie Day as two teachers pitted against each other to culminate in this big fight at the end of the last day of school.
Yep.
So there's a lot of great comedic actors in this one, a lot of funny parts, but this movie is carried by Charlie Day. So what did you think of Charlie Day, stepping outside of Always Sunny and doing a feature film?
Yeah, and I think this is probably the first film where Charlie Day is the main role.
Right,
It's
he was
his
like
story arc.
an ensemble with Horrible Bosses movies.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is his story, and I like Charlie Day for the most part, but he's never steered away from his Charlie Day-isms. Like, it still is Charlie Day. He gets excited, his voice gets a little bit higher. And I will say that I think he does have the star power to carry this film, but I don't think he was the funniest part of it. What did you think?
No, I completely agree. Yeah, I do think that he does carry the movie, and he does do a good job, but I wouldn't call him the funniest part of the movie either.
No.
It's one of those things where it's kind of hard to separate him from Charlie Kelly on Always Sunny, and then there's moments where it's just like begging the comparison.
Totally.
But this did have a lot of funny side characters. Jillian Bell, I think she's just hilarious in everything she's in.
Yeah, she is. I mean, maybe not everything. I think this was good for her. She can play like a teacher. She just comes across that look of a teacher. When the role she played in Office Christmas Party, I was like, I'm not buying it too much. But in this one, I think that she fit right in. It's always refreshing to see Tracy Morgan back in action.
Oh, yeah.
And that guy doesn't have to say much to make me laugh.
No.
And I don't even think that he has that many like memorable lines, but he's still just so funny. He's such a funny on-screen presence.
Yeah, his mannerisms and just the way that he says things. I mean, he wasn't given the best material to work with, and he didn't have the greatest lines, but every time he was on screen, it was a welcome presence and brought a smile to my face.
Exactly. And let's talk about Ice Cube. What'd you think of Ice Cube?
I thought Ice Cube was actually pretty funny in this.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that, while he's playing such a serious character, he's also not taking himself too seriously. He's having fun in this movie.
Yeah, he is. He is stern, though. There's no, he never smiles unless it's like a conniving smile. He's never, happy. He is a very, very stern.
His trademark grimace is throughout the whole movie.
Exactly, and he's so good at that grimace. And there is a moment where there's all these stories going about who he was before he was a teacher. And I really like that sequence. Like,
that was pretty funny.
Like all these crazy things that he's done, what's true, what's not. So let's get into, leading up. This whole movie is essentially leading up to the fight. It's one day, last day at this horrible, horrible high school where just kids are out of control. There's no funding. None of the teachers have any respect. So what did you think of the day?
I thought the day itself, it was a senior prank day where all these different elaborate pranks were being pulled off, and I thought those were like good little injections of comedy because it was one of those things where it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like at any point in the movie, a prank could happen and something could go off.
Yeah.
And it actually did through the most part of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think that the day itself, it just made me wonder, why would these teachers even bother to show up to school?
I know. And, that's one thing about the story. Obviously, it's a comedy. You can't take these stories too seriously. And even though I did like Charlie Day's arc, I also was like, no one would put up with this. No. I'd be like, there's other jobs. I don't need this anymore. And that was another complaint of his character as well, is that he was almost too much of a little bitch. He's a full-grown man. Just fight. Just fight the guy. You're not going to die. He thinks he's going to die, but I think he goes through a little too much extremes to try to get out of it.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's just the whole tone and the pacing of the movie is that it's just a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
Along with the comedy.
Yes.
I thought that the comedy was more hit than miss, but there were some misses.
There were a few misses, and also just a few okay, smiling. I was not gut-busting laughing at all. But a redeeming factor was the third act. The third act is worth it. It's worth going through this movie, and you surprisingly care more about Charlie Day's character than you thought you would.
Yeah.
When he starts, getting a backbone and starting to stand up for himself a little bit, you're like, yeah, it feels good. And there is themes of stand up for yourself. Sometimes you just got to take the hard route and just his daughter learns it. He learns it.
Yes, I totally agree. The third act is the best part of the movie. And the first act, it was just kind of slow.
Yeah.
It took a while to get to the point where the story is set in motion, why these two have to fight each other or want to fight each other.
Yeah, and I feel like there was also scenes where they were trying to keep the ball rolling a little too much, where it's just all right, let's just have the situation happen and we can kill another 15 minutes because it's not quite feature length yet. There's a jail scene where I'm like, back to square one again. It just sort of felt a little repetitive. But let's, without too many spoilers, talk about the fight at the end.
Oh, the fight was probably the best part.
It was the best part. I
There-
liked the fight. It's worth it.
Yeah, the fight itself is funny, and it's kind of brutal, too. I mean, this is an R-rated comedy, so
Yeah.
it was to be expected. But,
Very R-rated.
But yeah, this is a hard R comedy for sure. But yeah, the fight itself was pretty entertaining, and the resolution at the end is plausible. It's at the end where, like the characters kind of become friends again. Like normally it's like they just got done beating the hell out of each other. That would never, but it's believable.
Yeah.
Because these characters don't hate each other. It's just that they got a beef, and it's the only way they're going to settle it.
And Ice Cube has other motives. He does care about the school system. This does have a lot of, well, not a lot of commentary, but a little bit of commentary on the school system, on teachers, how they're not respected as they should be, as they're underpaid, and how people just don't care about them when their job is a lot. They just have a really, really hard job. So they touch on that a little bit. But the fight, I felt like when you're in a circle in high school around
Watching
a
a fight,
watching a fight that like, like just some like cheap hits and like, I don't know, I really admired the scope of it, where you pan out, you see the entire school in one circle for these two guys. So the fight was an awesome payoff for it, and I think that's the best part of the film.
Easily.
Yeah.
Buffs.
All right, Nate, so we said the things that we liked and didn't like about the movie. Why don't you go ahead and wrap it up with the score?
So I enjoyed my time with Fist Fight. This is one of those comedies that, normally with comedies, it starts really high, and then it has a lull, and then it ends okay. This one really just, it's like a snowball building up snow, where it's really, really good at the end. I felt like just as the movie continued, the better it got. And if it wouldn't have done that, if the fight wasn't such a payoff, I probably would have gone like 6. But I'm actually going to go 7 on this one. I enjoyed Fist Fight. Not gut-busting laughter, but still an enjoyable time at the theater. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. This movie did get better as it went along, and the third act is a big payoff. But there still are some pacing issues and some slight comedy issues that I have with the movie. So I'm not going to go as high as 7. I'm just going to go a little lower and give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. But still your recommendation stamp.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. If you like Ice Cube and Charlie Day, go ahead.
Buffs.
So that's a review of Fist Fight. What did you guys think? Did you see the movie? What do you guys think of Charlie Day or Ice Cube? Leave all your comments below. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe as usual. We always appreciate all the support.
And be sure to join us next week as we bring you our review of Get Out. This looks like to be a very interesting movie. Not only do I think it's going to be scary, I think it's going to have some good commentary about social political climate that we're in right now.
Definitely.
So we'll bring you that review next Friday. But don't forget,
There's no place like the theater.
did you guys enjoy that episode? Click the logo right here and you'll be on the road to becoming a cinema buff. But where we're going, we don't need roads.